I can't believe you can get this kind of speed and this kind of smoothness out of such an inexpensive knife. Amazing. And the quality of construction is really good too. Check out that centering. Really, really impressive. Hey my friends, Late Boy Scout here, bringing you my review of the r.a.t. Model 2, a knife that I mentioned in the Knives I Definitely Buy video, one of my top 5 folders, and it quickly became so. This knife I think I picked up shortly after I heard it announced, and well, that is to say shortly after I saw it released. Got my hands on it, wanted to see how it felt in hand. I was a big fan of the r.a.t. Model 1. Which I think is a great, backpacking knife, EDC Plus size folder, the r.a.t. Model 1. So I knew that the r.a.t. Model 2, just being a shrunken down version of that, was going to have all the pluses, all the good features of that knife, but in a smaller package. And when I can get my hands on a knife that's slightly smaller, that does a lot of the same work with just, all the same ergonomics, in my opinion, this one does, I'm just thrilled, I'm excited. And that's what you get with the r.a.t. Model 2. And not for a bad price at all. I mean, it's very, very affordable. So let's talk about this knife. As I mentioned before, it was in the Knives I Definitely Buy video as one of my favorites. Why did it become one of my favorites, and why so quickly? Shouldn't I have spent more time with it in pocket and really have developed a couple years worth of experience with this knife before saying that it's one of my favorites, top 5 favorites? Look at that, we got some thunder happening out here. I'm at a nice canyon park and I hope I don't get rained on, but I might. Why would I do that though? Well, sometimes you get your hands on a knife and it just hits all the notes. All the key things that you want from a knife are there, and it's just got 0 downsides. And that literally is what you have in the r.a.t. Model 2. That's why I so quickly and eagerly put it into my top 5 for EDC. Now, one other reason why is I recently had a moved my family into a new home. And in doing so, I packed up almost everything I had and carried very little for everyday carry and so forth. That is to say, I packed up the majority of my knives, leaving myself with just a couple to rotate between. The 2 that I rotated between were this one, the r.a.t. Model 2, and this one here, Spyderco Cat G10. And look for my review of that one in another video. So having had both of those knives as my only 2 knives to rotate between, I quickly relied on them for everything. And the r.a.t. Model 2, being one of those 2 knives, got relied on for opening boxes, for cutting rope, for doing all kinds of things that are related to moving tasks. Things that you have to do when you're, boxing your stuff up, moving it into a new home, getting it unboxed and all that. Lots and lots and lots of stuff to do. And this knife got so much of that done. Not only that, I actually put it through an EDC testing regimen, which is a handful of things that I took some time trying out materials. Started with, of course, shaving hair off my arm to make sure that it could get sharp enough to do that, and that it would perform that task. Not that you really ever have to do that, but it's good to know how sharp it can get. Next, moved on to some paper, another very simple cut test, but demonstrates the sharpness of the edge and how well it holds it. Moved on to, of course, paracord. Need to see how it does in cutting cord, in cutting rope, and cutting any type of cordage material. And that was fast and easy and slick. Moved on to some plastic materials, clamshell type plastics. And these were actually bottles for soda and other things. But I cut it up to see how it did and how it kind of tore through that plastic, and it was perfectly fine. So for clamshell type packaging, it's going to be a great knife. Then of course onto some cardboard, and it zipped through that, no problem. No hot spots, no uncomfortable areas on the knife as I was moving through that material and doing that work. Real easy, real comfortable. Then I pushed it even as far as to do a little bit of wood carving with it. If a knife, an EDC size knife, can do a little wood carving and dig into a little bit of pine wood and really bite into it without hurting your hand, then you've got yourself a pretty nice, pretty good choice for EDC. And the r.a.t. Model 2 excelled in all those cutting tasks. Just did a great job. So I can say conclusively that the r.a.t. Model 2 is a great performer, but let's talk about some of the other features on it, why I like it so much. Well, not only does it perform well, but there's also just some great ergonomic factors going on here. It feels really nice in hand. If we can look and see how my fingers dig into that handle. You got about a 3.5 finger grip. You can get a lanyard on there through that lanyard hole if you really want to. You can also reposition the pocket clip to all 4 positions to suit your preference. It is a liner lock, if I didn't mention that. Non-milled out liners, but at this lightweight, that does not matter at all. Zytel handle scales, a type of polymer plastic. They work just fine for this size of a knife. It is a coated AUS 8 steel blade. That coating does help a little bit with friction and helping it slide through materials. And does protect that steel a little bit from rust. However, it will, as you can see, chip away and wear away through use. It's got the same rounded jimping of the r.a.t. Model 2, which in my experience works just fine, especially for the size of knife that this is. Thumb stud deployment, and that is ambidextrous. And how does that deploy? Lightning quick, super smooth. I can't believe you can get this kind of speed and this kind of smoothness out of such an inexpensive knife. Amazing. And the quality of construction is really good too. Check out that centering. Really, really impressive. This black on black version of the knife has been my testing bed for daily carry and for EDC tests, but it comes in a variety of colors. You can get it in a non-coated blade and with various colored handle scales. I'll show you just one of those options here. Yeah, bright pink for the ladies. And that is a beautiful powder kind of pink. I think my wife would really enjoy this knife, actually. I might have to get her this one. With that bright satin blade. Really nice. And not only pink, it also comes in, I think, OD green, probably a desert tan, possibly an orange, possibly a foliage green at some point. So you're going to have a lot of options with this knife as far as colors, as far as coated or uncoated blade, also serrated and non-serrated if I'm not mistaken, or that is to say partly. So basically you can get whatever configuration you like in your folding knife, you can get in the r.a.t. Model 2. Again, an excellent price, excellent weight, the size is fantastic. Man, oh man, I can't say enough nice things about the r.a.t. Model 2. AUS 8A steel is not my favorite, but it does a pretty dang good job. I'd pay more for 154 cm if I could get it, but you know, again, you'd be paying considerably more for that. For everything you get, this is an outstanding knife, and easily is going to be staying in my top 5 favorites for a good long while. I'm the Late Boy Scout with that review of the r.a.t. Model 2. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.